the World Wide Web now, can't
The
they?
World Wide Web.
Isn't that
Now
crazy?
they're out there,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't want to tell everybody that. I don't know. So this week, the thought for the week,
Yeah.
Times, they are a-changing.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I keep hearing, the times they are a-changing by
Oh.
Bob Dylan.
Did it?
That was my impression.
That's your impression?
Yeah.
I think it sounded better than him. So why do you think he wrote that song?
Oh, man, that was a pivotal time in
Now, were you
history,
even
wasn't it?
alive when he wrote that?
I don't think so.
See, I don't think
so.
you were.
But I grew up on Bob Dylan. I
Bob
really
Dylan.
did. My stepdad played him a lot.
A lot.
A
Wow.
lot. Yeah.
When
And I didn't care for him as a child, honestly.
Right.
But his songwriting, very good.
Very good.
Very good.
And he took a lot of his information and everything from folk music.
Yes.
The folklore of things that happened.
Yes, he loved folk music.
And in the song, it was a kind of a call to recognize the inevitable changes. So that's
the only
what
thing constant is change.
The only thing constant is change. And he saw the world at that time really shifting. All right. Which, as a young man, I thought that was amazing because he actually wrote the song in 1963 and he started performing it in 1964. And think about, at that time, the biggest thing going on was the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
So
Huge.
that was up and running. Huge. And the old way of doing things was changing. It was really, really changing. So he said in the song, and the message for that song, it says, change is coming, whether you like it or not. So, but don't stand in the doorway. I mean, that's from his song.
Okay.
So inevitable
And does that
change.
mean to not let it, not keep it from happening? To not stand in the doorway?
That's right. Yeah. Don't try to stop it because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it is still happening today.
Very much
and
so.
That's what we're going to talk about. And how do you respond to all these changes, things that happen? So we had political upheaval, we had social problems, and he was not, the way he looked at it was like a spirit of the era that we were doing at that time. And so it was written to parents, to politicians, to writers and critics of everything. And most of all, it was kind of prophetic for the establishment.
The establishment. Yes.
And what he was doing is calling each group to accountability. We talk about within a community of support and encouragement and accountability. And that's what he was calling for. So this just was not just a pop song.
No.
I mean, it's kind of like an anthem. He was
definitely.
That he wrote this anthem.
Yes.
And he gave a warning, but he also gave an invitation. And it's about choosing your position in the change.
I see.
And it still matters today. We always like to take a look back, what was going on when this thought happened, when the word popped up. How do we feel about it today? And he was saying it's happening right now where it's happening. And it happens at all levels. It happens socially, politically, culturally, and definitely spiritually.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really just an amazing thing, the way that he said it. The times are always changing, but are we going to resist it, or are we going to align with it? And in actuality, the book I just published, Balance in Crisis, we're talking about making a change. And we're going to always have change going on.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, he had a guitar, he had a harmonica, but the biggest thing he had was his conviction, And I think he just wanted to kind of wake us up.
I think so.
Let's
Yeah.
get that. So he didn't want he was really for open speech, free speech, let people say and talk.
Mhm.
And so the change is here. And I've heard a number of people say, gosh, but it seems like it's happening so fast.
So fast.
Now. Everything is accelerated.
Yeah.
And, we have information is everywhere, and we can get it at the, snap of our finger.
Yeah. Maybe a press of a few
That's
buttons.
all you
Yeah.
got to do, and you
Yeah.
can get it.
Mhm.
So,
Hopefully it's correct information, but
yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully it is. And I think that's one of the big
Mhm.
things is that we don't have a lot of clarity.
Mhm.
Clarity is really rare.
Mhm.
And I know that in my coaching, gosh, I'm kind of sad.
Why?
Tomorrow is my last class with my ladies
Oh,
at the
the
Christian Women's Job Corps. They
Job
graduate
Corps.
next
Oh,
week.
so
Isn't
that is
wonderful?
bittersweet. It's sad to end that part change, but then you're excited for them
Right.
to move on.
Well,
Yeah.
and tomorrow I give my last class
Yeah.
for this semester.
Good.
But I'm
Good.
telling them, this is not just a graduation; it's
Mhm.
activation.
Ooh, nice.
You got to get
Yeah.
out there and take that first step of
Yeah.
gumption and
Yeah.
get involved.
Mhm. Now you have tools. What are you going to do with them?
So the real question: are times really changing? And I think we've answered that.
Mm.
And so the point we want to make here is to go from the culture to our character.
Mm.
Okay, so the culture is upheaval and all the things we went through with the Vietnam War and everything that was happening then. And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about who in the world has had a major impact on making change.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading this book about President George, I think W. Bush, right? He was elected in 2000.
Okay.
So he took office in January of 2001, in January.
Okay.
All right. So what happened in September of 2001?
Yes.
9/11.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So when he came into office,
Mm-hmm.
people, they didn't really think that he would make a good president. He
Okay.
didn't have a good reputation and things that, like he didn't want to have, at that time, he didn't want to have great foreign relations. And so he just kind of sat there and everybody, the 100-day honeymoon, they were thinking that, oh man, this is really going slow.
Yeah.
Okay. But what happened? When that happened, and this is the way change really happens, is when something drastic happens, something drastic. In your personal life, we always say you either get a great dream or you have a great disaster.
Ooh, great dream or great nightmare, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Nightmare. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the values and the virtues and our belief system those things don't change.
Mm-hmm.
And so a change, a new idea would not demand a new value, but it would demand a stronger commitment to those virtues. So Dylan versus the philosophy of Zig Ziglar. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So Dylan,
Mm-hmm.
he had external change.
Mm.
Culture began to shift. Authority was questioned.
Mm-hmm.
Systems began to break up.
Yeah.
His message was, you cannot stop the tide that is flowing.
Right.
It's kind of like, what was that guy? He put his finger in the dike or something and stopped the water.
It can't happen that way, can it?
So character for Mr. Ziegler is a choice.
Okay.
So Ziegler looked at the internal response.
Mm-hmm.
On the balance, the wheel of balance that I have, I'm talking about that hub on the spokes of the wheel.
Okay.
And in that hub is your internal responses because of your body, your soul, and your spirit. So how do you think? How do you act? And who do you become? And see, that's my ladies at the Christian Women's Job Corps.
True.
You know, they started 12 weeks ago, and they were probably, you know, a little doubtful, maybe a little fearful,
Sure.
you know, not knowing exactly what was
Sure.
going to happen. But now they are superstars. I'm telling you, they
Yeah.
are just wonderful. I just love those ladies. And so Ziegler said it, you must lead yourself before leading others.
Mhm.
And so let's look quickly at a couple of these virtues. Self-awareness. Okay, so when we have a disruption, we have confusing times, we must know who we are. I did a post last week. You know, the thought we had last week was the one about baseball, right? Let's play two.
Yeah.
And what that's
yeah.
meaning is go out and do greater things, more things in the game of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I related that a lot of people go out to do something, but they're not prepared. But I took the Ernie Banks player, you know, and he was in the locker room and he had a time of reflection and had a personal moment. He thought, you know, and kind of get his mindset to go play.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes out and plays at a high level. He energy and courage and boldness to get out there, even though they were not doing very well.
Right.
But he said, let's play two. And so my game of life, let's get into the game. I mean, you know, there's not going to be an encore to the game on this. We're
Of
not
life.
getting, we got one shot at
Right.
this, and I
Right.
want us to all go really, really higher.
Mhm.
So know who you are. And a lot of people, they do things and they strike out because they didn't prepare,
Mhm.
didn't prepare for what's, so you got to be prepared. So when other people's standards drop, yours must rise.
Mhm.
So when you have things coming against you and things are changing, it's how you respond and not what happens to you. So you must have the discipline and the control inside the body, the soul, and the spirit, which is in the hub on the balance of the wheel. So servant leadership. We don't need a bunch of bosses.
No.
We don't need them.
No.
We
It
need
gets confusing if people, if that's attempted, right?
right.
Yeah.
So we need leaders who care,
Mhm.
because it's been said, people don't really care what you know
Mhm.
until they know you care about them,
Right.
care about
Right.
them, and you
Right.
show it. And how do you show it? Monday morning when they come into work. Oh, good morning. How was your weekend? That's what you and I did.
Yes.
You know, how was your weekend? What'd you do?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
did some yard work, whatever.
Mhm.
All right. So that leadership. Then we must have this vision to define our future and that long-term goal. See, I always talk about gumption. That's what gets you up, makes you make that decision to get into life every day, and you got your daily habits to go forward, and that's your grit. You're looking at getting involved, your long-term resilience to stay in the game. And then you and I both love alliteration, so we use guts, Guts, which means your intestinal fortitude, your virtues. What are you doing it for? So real quickly, you know, time just runs.
It does when you're having fun,
so
right?
So real quick, let's finish up here. So what were the most changing people
Well,
in the world?
Yeah, in the world.
Now, number one's easy.
Well, let's see. You know, you were talking about one would be Jesus.
That's it. He's number one.
Yeah.
We can just lay. I mean, he changed the world from a moral. I mean, it was a morality and spiritual transformation to the world. So he changed that, and we give him credit for that.
You were talking about civil rights, so it makes me think of Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
big
that's a
changer.
great one. Then Mohammed, you know, Mohammed impacted. I think there's like 2 billion of them that following him. Community and civilization is one of the things he did. And then what about this guy, Isaac Newton? Do you remember that name?
Wow. Okay.
He was
That's
the
a good
laws
point.
of motion and gravity, physical science. So
Yes,
you're
yes.
right on when you say there's many different levels of change that we do. And then Albert Einstein, from a technical and an intellectual standpoint, he was wonderful. So, and you did Martin Luther King, you brought up, and gosh, some of those. What was her name? Tubman, in the Civil War.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people had things that they changed. Now, here's a real tough one. Okay, so we talk about people, and I think people remember some of those people. But what are the greatest events? Look at that standpoint in the world.
Yeah, like 9/11, the shot heard around the world,
right.
Things like that.
You know, going to the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those were great events. But there's one event that probably had the greatest impact on the change, and that is the Industrial Revolution.
Makes sense.
Now, right behind it, though, is what we currently have is this digital revolution that we're going through.
Yeah.
So there's 3 levels of change. We can change our beliefs. We can change our systems. Or we can change our tools. See, that's AI right now. That is a tool for us to use. That's what it is. So,
and just like any tool, it can be misused.
That's right.
Yeah. Or used for good. Yeah.
Now, there's 5 events generally that cause change. A crisis. You have a painful disruption in your life, which could be divorce, death. In my book, I wrote, on the circle of gumption, I call them the dastardly D's.
Oh, okay.
You know, you got divorce, diseases, disruption,
sure,
like disillusion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all start with a D. Deception.
There you go.
And then number 2, though, after crisis is all of a sudden you get a new responsibility and you are held accountable. All right, that would make change. Number 3 would be where you get a mindset shift, your mind, because all of a sudden you are faced with the truth for the first time. It's the exposure to what is really true. And of course, today is very, very tough with the way the false stuff that we get, a lot of propaganda that's coming out that's not true. Number 4, we have love or grace.
Yeah.
When that happens to us.
Big change. Yeah.
Big changes. And then number 5 here is we have a personal decision. You know, I've always, in the personal development world, I've heard people say, people change at events, go to a conference, go to a revival and everything. Yeah. But it's not the event that makes people change. It's your response to what happened at that event. And that's a personal decision. And 2 people can face the same thing and change differently.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are at the end. And if any of this stuff resonates with any of these people, they can call us 830-285-7010. Go to the website, www.kroneal.com.
Okay.
Send me a message, text me on that phone number, merge